Whether or not we get a full-blown altcoin season isn't the only consideration when buying altcoins, because even if we never see a proper altcoin season, there's always going to be some coins in some sectors that pop off, or simply, even if we do get an altcoin season, are going to return bigger gains than other coins. That means a worst-case scenario, you need to be much more selective. The last 2 years has proven that to us. You have to be willing to buy when attention is elsewhere for a shot at cashing in on the biggest multiples. So, it's risky, but potentially rewarding, but that's always been the altcoin equation, hasn't it? Today, let's look at which altcoins to buy in 2025. We'll go through this sector by sector, not really calling out specific names, although we'll give a few examples here. Starting with, well, actually, before we start, you need to understand investing in altcoins is risky. You can literally lose all your money in an instant like that. Okay, never invest more than you can afford to lose. Plus, I do own some coins, including some that we'll mention here today. If you want to see full portfolio disclosures, you can find that in the description down below on YouTube or the pinned comment over on X. You'll see all the current holdings, venture rounds, all that kind of stuff. Okay, with all of that being said, let's get into it. And first, we have to talk about what's basically been one of the hottest sectors this cycle, AI coins. When Bitcoin rallied over $90,000, altcoins followed, and the sectors of the biggest gains were AI agents, decentralized DeFi, decentralized AI, a combination of DeFi and AI. Now, to recap the story at these, there are tokens attached either to AI agents or to platforms designed around creating AI agents, launchpads, frameworks, stuff like that, or to projects that combine AI and DeFi. Most, but not all of them, are on Solana. The other honorable mention here is Base, with a few other chains getting into it as well. Several of them went on absolutely insane runs around the end of 2024, start of 2025, but subsequently crashed back down in horrific, fast crashes. That means it doesn't take a huge amount of liquidity for these things to put in big percentage gains off the bottom. Notable recent movers include Cerebro, which, I don't know, Kanye's taken over the account or something. It's really gross now. I'm so glad I sold it anyway. But put in a big move from the lows. Apparently some people like that. We have Graphane, ARC, Anon, AIXBT, all very exciting projects with getting a lot of social activity. Launchpads, AI16Z, and Virtuals are the main players here, but there are a lot of other contenders humming across the whole sector, so it's good to check where the mind share is going. To do that, there's a great website called Cookie, yes, Cookie like the thing you eat, .fun, and check a project ranked by its mind share. Right now, you'll find that at the top is none other than Fartcoin, the new paradigm of money, by quite a distance. Shocking. Anyway, I'll cover that later when we talk about meme coins, so stick around for that. Next, let's talk about real-world asset coins. This is one of the biggest, hottest sectors in crypto by far, and it keeps getting bigger and hotter, and people get more excited about it, and more projects are looking at it. If I had to pick an altcoin sector that has, I don't know, the biggest long-term impact, let's say, AI is very exciting. I like AI. It's kind of hotter, right? But long-term impact, it's got to be RWAs, man. We're talking about trillions of dollars coming on chain here. And they make a lot of sense to the TradFi world. Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, believes every asset can and will be tokenized. So if you want exposure, where do you look? Well, sometimes it's best just to stick to the leaders, especially if you can pick them up cheaply when sentiment is bad. Two to be aware of, put on your radar: Ondo Finance. These guys have been nailing crazy partnerships. And Plume, we just did a report on that one for the newsletter. Very promising upcoming protocol. Now, Ondo is top when it comes to social activity. It recently met with the SEC to discuss tokenizing securities, while Plume is a layer one designed for real-world assets. There's others like Clearpool, that's the token of a credit marketplace. Clearpool, which currently has a pre-deposit campaign ahead of mainnet launch of the Ocean. They put a Z in there, OZEAN, whatever. The real-world blockchain Clearpool is building. Anyway, if the RWA narrative takes off, and it probably is going to continue taking off in a very massive way. Chex from Chintai, Rio from the Relio network. There's some names to keep an eye on. Also, according to rankings by Santiment, big names like Link, Avalanche, Wormhole, put that one on your watch list. These guys are basically the middleware for all this stuff happening. These networks not only for RWAs, they're for the whole crypto too. So it's tapping into multiple narratives and tapping into those. Now, it's a completely different category I want to talk about next, which is the hottest category probably of all of them. But before we get into that, guys, if you want a great exchange where you can trade, no matter where you are in the world, okay? And I know for a lot of you guys, you want to have a great exchange where you can trade, right? You want to be able to long and short, right? Long the rips, short the dips. You want great altcoin exposure. You want to be able to trade with freedom, but maybe where you live, it's a bit harder, whatever it might be. Well, BitUnix is the exchange you're looking for, okay? These guys are available to everyone, everywhere, no KYC, no VPN, just trade, enjoy yourself. Super easy. For a limited time, there's a crazy deal going on. You get $10 just for starting your account. That's a nice little welcome bonus. Hey, do your first trade for free. $400 in deposit bonuses. So you can get $400 free cash deposited back to your account. So you deposit $2,000, you get $400 back, and a $2,000 trading bonus. So if you actually start trading on Bit, putting in some actual volume, making this your exchange where you do trading, you can get $2,000 back. That's crazy. Link down below. It's a limited time offer. Go take advantage of it. Check it out and start trading with freedom. Now, let's talk about meme coins. By now, we've had a good look at the meme coin circus. It's been crazy. Highs, lows, puke-worthy events. It's been insane. We have an idea of the millions of meme coins tokens that are launched. Not all of them are sticky, but some names do stand out. Of course, Fartcoin being the big one. This also gets classed as an AI token because of its connection with the Truth Terminal bot. It hit a $2 billion market cap, crashed down to 220 million, back over $1 billion now. People love it. It's kind of a shelling point for risk-on liquidity in the cryptocurrency market. Well, of course, hot air rises and everybody must fart. Of course, obviously, guys. Apparently, the Fartcoin has also got a fantastic distribution, perhaps one of the fairest launch coins out there with the best distributions of any coin out there. It's quite noteworthy. Beyond that, SPX 6900 became a top pick from this guy Murad's list, which became very popular. So maybe that's something you want to watch out for in a bullish scenario, but really to find what communities vibe with you. See, I like things like Dog with Hat, Fartcoin, of course, Popcat, Pengu. These have all rallied super hard recently, though, so you might want to wait for decent pullbacks on these because there's always decent pullbacks, guys. These are coins that react very quickly to any sign of bullishness in the market, soaking up speculative money. Okay? Meme coins are not going away. They're not dead. They're always going to be there as part of the human greed cycle of this, and you can make the money the fastest with meme coins with higher risk. Let's talk about DeFi tokens. One of the best performing launches last year was Hyperliquid, which ran up to $10.8 billion market cap, now back down around $6 billion market cap, but it dominates the perpetual swap, aka leverage trading platforms, almost 75% of the market share on chain. Then there's Sonic, which is the rebranded version of Phantom, was built for DeFi. There's Barachain. These are new launches, Barachain. Phantom's rebranded Sonic, kind of makes it a newish vibe anyway. Barachain, similarly DeFi focused. Features of novel consensus mechanisms called proof of liquidity. We have Sky, formerly known as MakerDAO, which honestly, it's looking really good, man. That's one on my watch list. Their token buyback program, holy shit. Seriously, this is a very, very interesting one to keep an eye on. Some other protocols with buybacks include, of course, the previously mentioned Hyperliquid, also Aave, Jupiter, Radium, a lot of good stuff out there, guys. Real DeFi tokens that have real economic models. Most tokens are total bullshit, fugazi garbage, which meme coins are a great representation of that. At least we know there's no fantasy being sold. But these DeFi tokens, they have actual tokenomics to them. There's also a shout out to Athena Labs, which is garnering attention, having worked with Securitize to build a new real world asset chain called Converge. So you see a lot of these things hopping across different sectors, like Wormhole again. Moving on though, let's have a quick shout out as a bonus here to the gaming tokens. The reality is blockchain gaming is in the absolute gutter right now. There has not been any meaningful mainstream breakthrough, although there's recently been interest in an upcoming Peaky Blinders game. But anyway, this is exactly when it can be worth taking a bet on some decent projects. A notable coin here is Gun. I bought a big bag of this. I'm a pre-sale investor. I've got nodes, and I bought a giant bag on Binance after it listed, after the 50-60% crash, obviously. This is the token of the Gun's Layer 1 gaming ecosystem, which is the home of the flagship AAA title, Off the Grid killer game. Very sticky, millions of players a week. Another place to look maybe is Immutable, which just announced a new game with Ubisoft called Might and Magic Fates, and the Immutable X token made gains in a recent market rally, perhaps off the back of that news. Also making super positive moves, Super is the token of Superverse, and for a higher conviction play, maybe you're going to look for some of these sort of bigger infrastructure plays like Beam, right? That's a gaming network that is spreading out lots of bets in a lot of places. Also built on Avalanche, by the way. So look, guys, there's a lot of great coins out there, a lot of cool coins doing cool stuff at interesting prices right now. Obviously, risk is still high, but therein lies the opportunity. Risk is always available in markets. It's always here. The question is it the right time for you? Not telling you what to do. It's a question for you. Is it the right time for you to take risk by looking at some of these hot altcoin sectors? Or you think we're going to Goblin Town, New Great Depression, all that stuff? That's probably a horrific time to buy altcoins. Place your bets accordingly. Thanks for watching.